Okay, so I'm going to start this live video and I want to make sure that my iPad is catching on to that as well too, so that if there's comments, I can catch that as I'm recording. My main concern about today and starting the 10 cards in 10 days isn't being nervous about what I'm going to say, what I'm going to make, how I'm going to do it. It's actually the technology, because sometimes my videos end up sideways when I do them. I often do live feeds when I do my team meetings, and sometimes they're totally sideways. So if you are watching that and if you're watching and want to help me out by giving comments and saying, hey, guess what, you are sideways, I would appreciate that. Or even if you're watching and you go, oh, that looks totally fine, then I will leave it as is. So my goal, since I can't do any live events the month of April and be in with people, and I'm used to doing that. I'm used to doing in-home parties, and I'm used to bringing Stamp Camp to locations and having it here in my home. That's what I was gonna do. As people are waiting to join, I'm going to quick show you something funny. Okay, this is just proof that it is totally live. I haven't really got an agenda for this. Some of you will think this is kind of funny because you always want to know, hey, what are you making for Stamp Camp for goodies and such? And so actually late last night I did make some bars, and they must be good because this is what's left of the bars I made last night. So I think maybe I should post the recipe for that like I usually do with my Stamp Camp things, and see if you want to join in on my baking in the next 10 days too. So my goal for the next 10 days is to create 10 different cards and share them with you. And so I also was thinking that there might be some people that are joining in that have maybe never paper crafted before, maybe never made cards before and such. And if they see something that is that I'm doing and they go, you know what, that looks kind of hard. I wanted to start with a really simple card today from absolute start to finish. Sometimes when you get to my Stamp Camps, things are pre-cut and sitting there and you just assemble them, and I try and make it easy for you there too. But today I thought I'm just gonna start with one simple card from start to finish, cutting it, everything, but I also want to make it quick. So also within the next 10 days, since I can't be out bringing you my projects and everything, I wanted to be able to share that with you. So if you look at my 10 cards in the next 10 days and say, you know, I'd like a set of those 10 cards, or if you normally get my cards during the months of my Stamp Camps, then you can, hello Dana, hi Shirley. I'm offering where you can buy the 10 cards for $22, and that includes me delivering the cards to you if you're local in a safe way, sanitized way, and I can mail them out to you as well, the 10 cards for $22. And otherwise, if you think, you know, I want to place an order anyway, but I want to benefit by getting the cards, I do have an April host code, and so this is the host code, and I don't have the best of handwriting, but I also will be posting this host code when the video is done. I will post a picture of the card, still shot, so that you can see it, as well as what I normally do is list all the supplies used to make the card, and then I'll put the host code on there too. So if you order online because you need supplies or like anything that I'm using as you watch these videos day by day, then you can just plug in that host code. If you spend $75, you get the cards for free. They get sent out for free as an added bonus for you during this time. So I just kind of want to get started, and the card that we're going to make today, or that I'm going to make for you, is this one right here, and it says, thinking of you with all my heart. And if you get my catalogs or follow Stampin' Up! At all, the products I'm going to be using are kind of centered from the Handmade for You mini catalog, starting on pages like 24 through about 28, some of the products in there. So So you can follow along if you want to do that. Thanks, Dana. I'm kind of excited about it. I'm really excited about how pretty the card is, but how simple it is to make too. So, and for those of you watching, are you seeing it the right way? My fear is, like I said, that it's going to be sideways or crooked. So if you could let me know if it's sideways to you, or if you could just type in and say, hey Belle, it's coming across just fine, then I'll know. It looks to be fine on my end, but I want to be sure. Yes. So the paper that I'm going to be using is from the Peaceful Poppies DSP, and so really pretty designs, and I kind of did a photo shoot a little while ago highlighting some of the new things. So I'm going to pull out this 12 by 12 sheet here. Okay, so I'm just going to kind of put my camera down. There we go. So it's more on my desk than anything too. So, okay. And Shirley, thanks for letting me know. And Sue, so I think the images might look backwards, but I think you'll get the gist of what I'm doing too. So that will be helpful. And so what I'm going to do is take this 12 by 12 sheet here, and you can tell it's gorgeous just the way it is, so we don't have to do much with it. And that's going to be the front of the card, but let's go to the base of the card. And with that, I'm using Poppy Parade 8.5 by 11. And since I have 3 people that have already said, hey Belle, I want your cards this month, I know that I'm going to be making more than just this one card for your live viewing. So when I know I'm going to be making more than one card at a time, which is often, I take my full 8.5 by 11 sheet, put it in my trimmer, and I score 2 at one time. So I'm going to put it at the 4 1/4 marking, and I'll just scoot my cutting blade down and use my trimmer blade here and give it a gentle press down, and that's going to score that. And then I'm going to take and put it to the 5 1/2 marking and flip up my scoring blade and use my trimmer blade, and now I have 2 card fronts just like that. So I know when I use my trimmer that I tend to do half things in life left-handed, and my trimmer is one of the things that I use left-handed too. So if it looks awkward when I'm doing things, I know I use it left-handed. Hi Val, hi Robin. So I'm just going to get out my bone folder and just kind of press along where I scored it there to give it a good press down. I'm going to set this aside for later. And then I'm going to pull out my trimmer again. And I'm just going to take and cut this 5 1/4, so just a 1/4 inch less than the card base, and just trim that across. And to get a 1/4 inch less the other way too, I'm going to go up to the 4 inches and cut that. So we have that, and then if you just go across 4 inches more again, and 4 inches, you can see right here I can make 3 cards with 1 swipe there, and then you can see that there's going to be 3 more cards that I can make with this as well. So I'm going to set those extra pieces aside and just set that there. And the next thing that I'm going to do then is actually get out my stamps and ink. So I'll be using the Peaceful Moments Peaceful Moments stamp set and the Poppy Parade ink. And I like to show people, like I said, this video is going to show right from the beginning the stamp set, so how it comes. And so I have put the sticker on that says thinking of you with all my heart. I'm going to put that on my block and make sure that that's kind of lined up, and I'll set that aside. And so I can just ink it up. And I think this is the most exciting part, is being able to ink it up and seeing how I lightly tap. There's no pressing to China or tapping so hard that you get lots of extra ink around there. Just a light tap and stamp on here. And then we have thinking of you with all my heart. And I thought about die cutting it because there's some neat dies that go along with this set, but the pretty label punch really will look nice with this card, I thought. So with the punch, I'm just going to open that up, and the ink dries relatively fast, so I can just slide this scrap of Whisper White in, and I always use my punches upside down so I can see it going in. Give it a punch, there it is, and I'll set that aside. So then it's just a matter of assembling my card. There's some crinkle white seam binding, and it's really pretty. It's on unorderable status right now, but hopefully this month later it'll come back in. Some people detest ribbon. A few names come to mind because tying ribbon isn't always a favorite. I'm never sure at how much like ribbon I need when I tie it, so I just leave it right on the spool. And if you know me, I don't do a lot with tying bows. I just tie kind of a quick, easy little tied knot like so. And then I'll grab my scissors. These are labeled with that ribbon that lets me know that this scissor only cuts my ribbons and not my paper, so it stays sharp. So we have just that little bit of ribbon on there with the crinkle seam binding. And then I'm just going to take my snail and run that along here and here and here and a little dab there. And then that sticks easily on to my Poppy Parade cardstock. So most of the card already is done. And then to put the sentiment on, I'm just going to take some dimensionals, like about 4 of those, top, bottom, and side to side. And I'm just gonna peel off those little stickers like this. And then that just will pop up right over top of my ribbon like so, and I want to make sure that it's not crooked. Ta-da! So there's a really easy card just like that. So literally some cards can look like you've spent all day creating them. Some do take all day. So I thought I'm gonna start easy more so that I can get down the technology and just feel comfortable with having people possibly watching and such. So another thing that I wanna do to just kind of add on to the card as a little extra that I think adds a lot is to show you just how to finish the inside. And often I will just take some Whisper White, and there again, a lot of people like to know what are the measurements that you do for different things. So I'm just going to do 4 inches by 5 1/4, like so. And I'm not gonna stamp anything on this. And I'm just going to take my snail again, just a little bit. It doesn't take a lot of adhesive. And I'm just going to put a white inside. So with this type of greeting that says, thinking of you with all my heart, you can put happy birthday. You can just leave it blank and write your own message in there as well too. So that looks nice. And one of the ways and reasons that I'm able to sell this to you, either with an order or something, is Stampin' Up! Has different copyright stamps. So I just tap on the ink pad and add Stampin' Up! To the back. And that allows me to sell it. Part of the reason why I needed to be, I'll flip the camera up here too. Part of the reason that I felt like I needed to do these live things is that often people ask me, Bella, I'd love to do a kit version. I can't come to Stamp Camp at your home or one of the other locations that I go to, but is there a way that I could get a kit where you just cut all the pieces and you could even stamp the little sentiment, punch it out with the punch, and just put all the pieces in an envelope, some of the ribbon and everything, and then while I'm watching a movie, especially in the winter, just put all these kits together. Stampin' Up! Does not allow for us as demonstrators to put together kit, whoops, I was gonna scoot this down a little bit, kit type projects for you. So that's illegal for us as demonstrators to do. It's they consider it a copyright infringement. So that's why we either have to sell you all of the things to make your own cards, or we need to assemble and complete the cards before we mail them or sell them to you that way. So that is a little explanation as far as sometimes why we go above and beyond by making the complete card, and sometimes why we have to back off and not do any of it because of that copyright infringement and such. And I enjoy working for this company. I want to stay working with this company, so I always want to make sure that I'm doing everything exactly like I should be with their policies and such too. So another thing, if you have any questions on anything you see today, let me know. You can comment later, I think by doing a Facebook Live. Even though it's during the day, it's a quiet time for me. It's my work time, and the guys are all out working. They're prepping for spring things on the farm and such, and all doing their things. So it's kind of nice and quiet in here, and so it's a good time for me. And then once it gets published, to Facebook, then if you're working during the day and able to do that during this Corona time, you can still tune in and watch it later at night too if you have more time, or if that works better for you too. So hey Shelly, thanks for watching. So I was trying to think if there's any other questions that I have, but if you have questions, let me know. And like I said, I'm gonna do this 10 cards, 10 days in a row, and at the end of the video I'm going to post the picture and all the instructions so that you have that. So hopefully this will be fun. Like I said, I really don't feel too nervous about it because you guys are always so encouraging, and it just helps me in my business to know that you're behind me. And I've already gotten several emails and texts saying that you're so excited. And that was part of also the reason why I didn't set an exact time as far as when I'd be on Facebook Live. Because to me, having that deadline sometimes can be even just as stressful as being live in front of you all too. And so be watching. I'll try and have a clean shirt on every day, a different shirt on every day, and hopefully showered and all of that. As you can see today, I stood up when I made my card, which is common for me. I usually stamp standing up, and that way it can be mobile in my stamp room and grab the supplies I need, and I'm able to do that. But I'm not very good at sitting and stamping, but I don't even know what card I'm gonna do tomorrow. I have some ideas in my head and I have my notes written down and everything. So if it's something that's going to be coloring in that, I might chime in, but I might have to have the camera already preset so that you just see my hands doing everything. And if it's a more time-consuming card, I might have like all the pieces cut out and such too. So every day is going to be a little different, and I hope that you can tune in either live or later. And I'm hoping that I can give you some inspiration during these days where you might be going just a little stir crazy too. So I love it, Robin, that you had to tell your son to change clothes and shower. Yeah. So far we haven't got to that in our house yet. I hope it doesn't happen. That's part of the thrill of being married to farmers. They do want to shower because they kind of get a little stinky on the hog farm. So yeah, so enjoy your day, guys. Hope everybody is well and staying healthy, and I can't wait to hear back from you. Thanks. Bye-bye.